Good morning, everybody. All right. Good morning, everybody. Thanks for jumping in. Welcome to the Power Hour. It's the last show for the year. If you know someone who should be here, tap them on the shoulder, let them know that we're getting started. We are the Global Opportunities Committee. My name is Ricardo Berries. I'm the chairman for the Global Opportunities Committee of the Atlanta Black Chamber, and our focus is on trade, investment, and partnerships from around the world for our members, and for the diaspora, African Americans, and Black businesses at large. And so we are active within the community, really helping to create opportunities for conversations, for information, and for relationships that can forge better businesses going in. So welcome. A few other housekeeping. This has been recorded and it will be available on our channels on YouTube. So if you have not yet subscribed to our YouTube channels, please do that. Global Opportunities Committee and the Atlanta Black Chambers. Both of those channels would love to have your, if you may, your patronage, if I should say that. So thanks again for jumping in. Follow us on social as well. Let us know where in the chat. Let us know where you're tuning in from. I know that this is our last show, and so you may be already getting packed and ready for that well-deserved vacation. I want to give a special shout out to the GOC team, the leadership. Behind the scene, there's a gentleman by the name of Samuel Adime who does pretty much all the work to put the Power Hour together for us every Wednesday. And so want to give a big shout out to Sam and the rest of the folks who make this possible, or regional leaders as well, who are in just various parts of the world. I see we have folks here from Mark is here from Dubai. I see Mark. I see our membership lead Jason is here as well. So we've been blessed to have some incredible people who believe in the opportunity to create connections and build relationships, and most importantly, to do business. We are driving the economic wheels, if you may, or turning the economic wheels for advancement of the business. So whatever the business that you're in, our goal is to create the platform to allow you to thrive in that business, and do well. So that's pretty much who we are. Today we're talking about West Africa. We've been doing a series on West Africa, and we'll be continuing to do this series on West Africa until our delegation happens. But today we are specifically talking about Ghana and Togo. And I know, like me, many of you haven't been to Togo or been to Ghana, and the only way to really understand what's actually happening on the ground is to be there and to really experience it. But before we go there, we have some folks who can really give us a better understanding as to what's happening in those territories. And so I'd love to bring my guest up on stage and ask them to start off and introduce themselves. So we're gonna do the lady first. We have one queen in our midst, Fidel, who is with the Midland Africa Chamber, who we're also partnering with in Omaha, right? It's Omaha. I hope I'm saying that right. Here in the U.S., we're partnering with the Midland Africa Chamber to also have some of their members join us on this delegation. So we're excited to have them on board. So we're going to start off maybe with you, Fidel, just to tell us a little bit about who you are and tell us a little bit about Fidel, but also give us some perspective on Togo.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having us, Ricardo. So, good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us this morning. My name is Fidel Mienso. I'm the COO of the Midlands African Chamber here in Omaha, Nebraska, and I'm a proud Togolese native. It is my honor to co-present today with my colleague and MAC Global Trade Committee Chair, Mr. John Wejarogo, an esteemed leader with decades of experience in U.S. and West African markets. Together, we will walk you through the Togo and Ghana segment of the 2026 MAC GAC trade mission happening between March 7th through the 22nd of 2026. Our goal here today is to give you a clear, intentional understanding of the opportunities, the itinerary, and the preparation required for a successful mission. Thank you so much for having me today.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. John, would you like to go ahead and tell us a little bit about who you are?
All right, thanks so much, Ricardo. My name is John Odrawo. I am the chair of the Global Trade Opportunity with the committee with the Midlands African Chamber. I'm also co-founder of the International Agribusiness Initiative, and we just had our first edition of the International Agribusiness and Manufacturing Fair USA Africa. We had that on October 29th and 30th. So we are able to bring uh, over 120 people. Um, some of them came from countries like Togo, Mali, Burkina Faso, government officials, entrepreneurs, people representing private organizations. And it was all about agriculture and manufacturing. Um, so on the professional side, I'm a real estate agent. So since 2019, I'm a licensed agent helping investors, buyers and sellers in the US. I also have a real estate agency in Burkina Faso, where I'm originally from. So thanks so much for having me here.
Wow, that's awesome. Thank you, John. That's good to know. I think we definitely will have some questions on those, but thanks. Appreciate this. Humphrey,
You're welcome.
thanks for jumping in on our show today. Tell us a little bit about who you are and what you're doing.
Thank you, Chairman Ricardo. Good morning, good afternoon. A real pleasure for me to be here. Humphrey Obache Pule is my name. I work for DHL Express as the Assistant Regional Director for West and Central Africa. West and Central Africa for DHL Group is about 23 countries. So running down from Cape Verde all the way to DRC and then back Niger all the way to Senegal. and I've been in the logistics industry for 25 years this year. I'm originally Ugandan, but married to Ugandan Malian. And yes, so I've worked in Ghana, I've worked in Rwanda, and I've just come in this year from Tanzania and worked a lot on the corridors, West Africa, corridors, East Africa. So really happy to be here.
Fantastic. You're a good man to know. I mean, you're responsible for all the the connections between these different states. So we'll definitely be coming back to that. Thanks for sharing that, Humphrey. And lastly, we've got Olivier. Olivier, welcome to the show, my brother. Please tell us a little bit about who you are. Tell us what it is that you do.
Bonjour tout le monde, good morning, good afternoon for me. I'm living in Paris. I'm Olivier. Thank you very much, Ricardo, for the invitation. I'm going to do something shortly about my background. I used to be a music journalist specialized in hip hop culture. I was the first African and Black man to have a degree from a journalism school in France about hip hop. So hip hop is my essence, and from hip hop, I'm the perfect children about the evolution of a brother from the diaspora and to develop projects from the beginning to now. So I'm still a music journalist. I work for a big foundation, one of the biggest and the oldest foundation in France. So I do the mentoring, the coaching for young people from 18 to 29 to enter the world of working with some big company like Alstom, Sodexo. So I prepare them mentally and also coaching to be confident and to have a lot of good and soft skills to enter the world of work. And I'm an international consultant, so Africa is in my heart, like every day. So I develop a lot of projects for Africa from France and around the world. So I created last year after the Olympic Games, because I was the curator of the African Village, Station Afrique. We host like 50,000 guests for 200 artists. It was incredible because it was the first time that in the history of the Olympic Games, the African village was successful. So I'm proud about this experience. So we host a lot of countries like Ghana, Ivory Coast, Senegal, Mali, Guinea, Angola, Liberia. So I was very proud to host all these countries of Africa. And from the Olympic Games, I said, oh, I can't stop now. So I decided to create conference, Alkebulan African Summit. And the point of Alkebulan is I host and I receive all the brothers and sisters and any friend of Africa from all around the world. And the good things and the point of Alkebulan is that we receive a lot of brothers and sisters from South America, because a lot of Africans, they don't know that there is Black people there. So I was very surprised that people from Ivory Coast, Mali, they don't know that in Latin America, there is a lot of brothers and sisters. So I created this bridge in hip hop, culture, tech, blockchain, all that to develop a lot of connection between African people and with the other brothers from all around the world. So that's to do it shortly.
Wow, that's powerful. Well, thank you, Olivier, for coming in. I want to give a big shout out to Shakiri Moraine from the Russell Innovation Center,
Yes.
who connected us, right?
Yes.
And
Shakiri.
I know Shaq was he was in Paris at some point, and that's where you guys also connected. But you are in Paris, but you are very well connected to Ghana, right?
Yes.
And so you are Ghanaian.
Yeah, I'm from Ivory Coast, but my part they call Akan, and the Akan they are at the border of Ivory Coast and Ghana. So we
Got
speak
it, got it. So you're
also
almost Ghanaian then.
yeah, exactly. So we speak almost the same language. Even in the Akan group, we have like 15 different dialects. But I'm very close with the Ghana because to explain to everybody, working with the West-speaking countries of Africa is very difficult because the mentality, the French mentality. So Ghanaian people, after the Olympic Games, they were the people that they were very advanced and they wanted to do a lot of things after the Olympics. So we decided to create this summit and also a new Ghana. And I know Ghana is ahead on a lot of things, gold, and also for the bring back home of a lot of people from the diaspora, people from West Indies, Afro-American, even Latin America, they want to go back to Africa. Ghana is the point, is the home for a lot of, and also for business. That a lot of people from the French speaking, they don't know. And I want to develop these things about Ghana. And I was very impressed since a lot of years about the work that Ghana is doing right now to develop business and to create this connection between African people and all around the world.
Yeah, no, thank you. We'll come back to that for sure because you have some insight on Ghana that we want to ensure that our audience or listeners here take away. But I want to go to you, Humphrey, still on Ghana. You do work in Ghana as well. You're the man responsible for moving cargo and packages between these different states. Can you paint a picture of the outlook right now in Ghana from a logistic perspective, from where you're sitting? What are you seeing in terms of the opportunities that are there? Tell us a little bit about what's happening there in the region.
Thank you, Chairman. So I think it's very important to understand that within West Africa, you've got economies that are actually quite developed and others that are not. And so it's sort of sports. And what has happened in Ghana is really on the bedrock of the fact that there's been relative ease and political change that is predictable. So you've got a strong infrastructure, a very developed port. I was involved in the development and the digitalization of that port in 2017. And, just digitalization alone took clearance and customs delays from, 2 weeks to hours, and that was very, very rewarding working together with DP World in Dubai, as well as West Blue, which is a local indigenous Ghanaian company full of tech, and how that was really wrapped around a big problem that was delays and customs and integration, and right now you got some sort of single window whereby from a customs point of view, you have access into standards, you have access into customs, you have access into food and drug. So from a customs and regulatory point of view, there's a lot more development and integration in that area. And a company like ours is actually now got some capacity to do what you call clear in air, where we've integrated some of our capacity in tech with capacity in customs, and you can actually clear shipments before they arrive and stuff like that. But then from a land and probably maritime perspective, there's a lot of investment around expansion of the sea port because of deep seaport requirements for larger vessels to try and make it more attractive for the bigger vessels to come and dock over in Tema. And there's a development of some corridors from Abidjan all the way to Lagos, 1,050 kilometers. And obviously that passes along the Ghana route to try and open up trade. So there's a lot going on in terms of infrastructure because logistics is really, it's really standing on the sort of infrastructure that you have, whether it's roads, whether it's the airways, whether it's the maritime. And so in Ghana, you've got that quite well ahead. The road network is quite great. What is unfortunately lacking, but also from an opportunity point of view, is a lot more investment around rail. If you're familiar with the USA, you've got trains running from Wisconsin to Jamestown in Michigan, or from Seattle up north all the way to Miami. We don't yet have that in any part of Africa, and I think that's where the opportunity is. But right now, the digital space is the biggest opportunity. It's a $1.8 billion opportunity in the digital economy alone, e-commerce and all of that, including digitalization and integration of logistics.
Wow, wow. Now we love to hear that, and that's music to our ears. And we'll tapping into that a little bit. But I want to talk to you, Fidel, about Togo, because I know that you guys share a border with Ghana. So if you can just take folks, if we can keep your microphones on mute, that would be lovely. Let's be respectful of that. Please keep your microphones on mute. So Fidel, tell us a little bit about Togo and what's actually happening there. Are you guys seeing the same sort of opportunities? Paint a picture for us for those who have never heard of Togo before, because I think we may have folks who've not heard of Togo, have no idea where Togo is. Give us that 101 fundamentals.
Absolutely. So, as someone's originally from Togo, I'm excited for you all to experience the market potential firsthand. Togo is a smart but strategically powerful, a gateway into Francophone West Africa with the government committed to investment and reform. If you don't know, Togo is right next to Ghana. We're tiny, but we're located right between Ghana and Benin. We share a border with Ghana. So economically, its economy is growing steadily with strength. In logistic, Togo is home to the Port of Lomé, one of West Africa's busiest deep water ports. So in terms of agriculture, we're over 3.4 million hectares of arable land, major producer of cocoa, coffee, cotton, and palm oil. In terms of mining, significant phosphate reserves, plus marble, iron, and limestone. In terms of energy and infrastructure, we're rising electricity. We have a rising electricity demand, large renewable energy opportunities as well. Digital ICT, so national digitalization right now, agenda, tech parks, and fiber connectivity expansion. So why does Togo matter? It is an entry point into the ECOWAS market. It offers a lean regulatory environment with improving business reforms currently. It is ideal for pilot projects, market testing, and a lot of partnerships currently. So with this trade mission currently happening, we'll be spending 3 full days in Togo from March 13th through the 16th. So just to give you a good idea, we land in Togo on the 13th of March with some check-in into hotels, some diplomatic updates with the U.S. Embassy in Togo. So I want you to imagine you land in Togo, you have your little check-in at the Embassy of Togo. Your first full day on the 14th is going to be with the government ministries, the chambers of commerces, with some meetings with the private sector leaders. And then you have your B2B matchmaking sessions based on your sector or goals. Whatever, sectors you are interested in, you'll be meeting with those people. And then on the 15th, you'll have your meetings with the presidency, chambers of commerces, agriculture, digital economy, mine parks, and the free zones. And then come the 16th, it's going to happen so fast. You'll be like, oh my God, can I have another day in Togo? But no, you'll finalize that day with your overflow B2B meetings, and then boom, you get back into Ghana to continue the rest of your trade mission. So it's going to happen very fast, but it's going to be so great. Togo we're very welcoming people in Togo. I wish that you have more time to stay in Togo to enjoy, the people, the atmosphere, but you will love shopping in Togo. So although you are there on a business trip, just make sure you have some time to sneak around and go to the Grand Marché de Lomé. That's what we call it. Make sure you get to go there and do some shopping. Because those Togolese women, we call them Nana Benz. They will make sure they get your money because there's everything everywhere, from jewelry to Ankara to lace to everything. When I go to Togo, they make sure they take my money because I love to shop. But yeah, that's a brief overview of what's going to be happening when you go to Togo.
Well done, Fidel. I mean, you painted a really good picture, including the shopping. And typically, when we do our delegation, we have a lot of shoppers who want to make sure they take a piece of the destination with them back home. So, thanks for sharing that. Midlands Chamber, you also are very familiar with what's happening in Togo. Uh, um, I want to ask you, hear me, John?
breaking.
Yes, Ricardo, your line was breaking up. I
Can
can't
you
hear
hear can you
you.
hear me, John? Yes. Yes, it
Yeah,
seems
now
like
it's
my line was breaking up. I apologize for that. I wanted to ask you I wanted to ask you about the your role in this delegation. You talk a little bit about your planning of this the agribusiness event recently. Talk to us a little bit about that and sort of make the connection to
mm.
agriculture and e-commerce and this idea of digitization.
So, the Millionaires African Chamber was partnered to the International Agribusiness Initiative, and our goal was to bring leaders, entrepreneurs, decision makers from Africa to the Midwest of the US. Talk about agriculture and manufacturing opportunities because we believe that it was just a win-win situation where the Midwest, the US in general is way more advanced in terms of technology and they are able to produce a lot with control. I mean, they control how they produce, how they do their crop and all that. But in Africa, we still lack that technology. So that's where we brought people from Africa to the US with the participation of the Millionaires African Chamber. And I want to add that this event has also laid down the foundation to facilitate future trade missions because the people who came from Africa to the event, they saw what's out there. They were able to talk to manufacturers. They were able to talk to business people in the U.S. and show them because each country had the opportunity to present the potential investment potential they have in terms of agriculture. So the entrepreneurs who were there in the room, the conference room, they saw the opportunity in these countries and they have shown interest in seeing more how they can actually pursue the collaboration to to lead to something like a investment or some economic benefits. So just to come back to your question, I would say my role was to as a chair of the Global Trade Committee of the Middle East African Chamber, is to facilitate this connection, bringing people from Africa to the US and bringing also people from the US, because we had the University of Lincoln, Nebraska. We had organizations like the Corn Board, the Nebraska Corn Board, the Sorghum United, and government officials who were also part of the event. So it was just an opportunity for to facilitate future collaboration for the Luminous African Chamber.
Awesome. And so Olivier, thanks for that, John. Olivier, I wanna come back to you on Ghana because you're actually working. You do a lot of work in that area. I know you're working on an event also that's happening in Ghana. What would you say to folks who are listening? What's your reason for wanting to do business in Ghana? Why should we consider Ghana as a space for business today, from your perspective?
From my perspective, Ghana is like the door, one of the big doors to entrance Africa. And for the diaspora, because we have a lot of requests with the diaspora, so that's why I'm doing my conference in March in Ghana. This time after two first edition in Paris, because Ghana is the door for the gold. Because France, diaspora, they want to buy gold, but they don't know how. You see, even some black people, they never show, touch maybe a bar of gold. So that's something in the spirit of a lot of people from the diaspora. That's something very, they don't know exactly. And there is also other business that I received from people from America to come back to Ghana to invest and to have the citizenship too, because I'm working with some artists and they love Ghana. They hear about Ghana. Ghana is like the door, the point to do business. And the diaspora needs also to do business in all Africa, not only in Senegal, not only in Ivory Coast. They want to enter with the new generation to some new doors like Ghana. And Ghana is very advanced to attract and to catch the diaspora and this investment. And I want to create with the conference that people from Colombia, people from Bolivia, they can invest in Africa. And Ghana is the first door that may be more established in terms of legal, lawyer, and security. That's very important for the diaspora because we can invest, but we don't know where the money is going. So that's why, for me, Ghana has the top organization, lawyer, people actually to secure the diaspora to invest and to come directly to Ghana to do things. So that's why we are coming in March with people from the diaspora from all around the world to introduce Ghana too. Because some people they heard about Ghana, but they don't know exactly what Ghana is doing. So that's why people from investment, blockchain, animation, all these people are coming together, and also of the diaspora to explain the economy and how we can invest in Ghana. That's the main point. And for me, that's secure because French speaking countries, with the influence of France, is very difficult right now. Even in Senegal, Ivory Coast, it's possible to invest, but we need a stable country like Ghana. From there,
Yeah.
that's a Pan-African Pan-African country for all the African people that can invest in Ghana right now.
Yeah, and we're hoping to be a part of that conference in March as we come out. I think we're trying to make sure that we coincide both of those events. So happy to learn more about that. We're gonna switch gears real quick, ladies and gentlemen, to spotlight one of our members. Our members are important to us as we advance our community of businesses, and we want you to meet one of our distinguished member from the Luxury Life Consulting, and I think it's Lanota, who is here. I hope I'm saying that correctly, Lanota. Please unmute, say hello, tell us about what it is that you do, tell us who you are, and yeah, thank you for being a member of the Atlanta Black Chambers. Thank you for being a part of GOC, but tell the world what it is that you do.
Sure. Well, thank you, Ricardo. Thank you guys for having me today. It has been beyond joyful to be a part of the Atlanta Black Chamber and to be a part of GOC. And so anytime there's a survey, I'm like, yes, it's all great. Um, keep doing it. As far as my business, I've been listening to everybody speak this morning, and I am both empowered and enlightened. I am the owner of Luxury Life Counseling. And so I provide counseling services to adults 18 and over with a primary focus on couples. However, there's a separate entity to my business in which I do coaching and development. And so I have already reached out to you, Annette. Ma parle en français, c'est très bien. And super excited to network, work with, and partner with the various businesses within the chamber. It doesn't matter what you have if you do not have your mind. And so your mind matters. In our community, especially, what often limits people is the belief that they cannot have what they desire. Another thing that I often see is that people will create these roadblocks and barriers that prevent them from being able to accomplish their goals. And so, even in going to the trip to Ghana, if you don't believe that you belong in the room, and going to the trips abroad, if you don't see the value that you add, or if you can't communicate that successfully, um, it creates problems. And so internationally, what I have been doing and outside of the state of Georgia is I've been speaking with various entities on things such as work-life balance, on things such as recognizing social cues, respecting other borders and boundaries because cultures are different. And so learning how to navigate when you're in foreign places. Also, just being able to have time management, stress management, and to be honest about if you yourself are suffering from high performance depression. Um, with there being 65 people on this line, there probably is at least one person who has at some point in their life experienced that where you're working and you're hitting all of the targets, but everything in you is sad. Everything in you is struggling. And so being able to have a resource that can connect with you and that you can be yourself outside of what you do. I find it interesting that people, when you say hello, they tell you what they do versus who they are. And
Mm.
so I am the person who helps people to reestablish, reconnect, and to get back in love with who you are outside of what you do. And so, because this is the Global Chamber, I need to do all the plugs. I am available for speaking engagements locally and internationally. My passport stays on ready. I love Africa. I love France. I love travel. So if you guys are looking for someone to speak, enlighten, and empower your team, once your mind is together, your money lines up every time, every time. And so I always say you pay for front end or back end, either way you pay for it. I'm on all social media sites at luxurylifecounseling.com. I kept it simple. That's my Instagram, my Facebook, and then the website is all Luxury Life Counseling. And then for LinkedIn, I'm just Lenota Flood. So that's my
Wow.
spiel. That's who I am. That's what I do.
Wow, powerful, Lenota. I appreciate you. Please make sure you put that into the chat for folks who'd love to connect. You can have everything, but if you don't have your mind, that's a challenge. And so it takes a certain mindset to want to do these trips, to want to participate in these delegation, to want to make that investment in opportunities that exist in different parts of the world. So I'm really glad that you're actually here and stick with us because as we bridge this conversation between what's happening in West Africa and obviously getting your mind right to be able to do that, knowing that we have access to you to help us. You said something earlier, which that was the first time I was hearing that high performance depression. I'm not sure how many of us have heard that one before, but that certainly resonates with a lot of us because we do very well in some cases and not very well in other. Um, Humphrey, I want to thank you, Lenota, and I want you to we're bringing you into this conversation as we come on the next backstretch of our power hour here. Humphrey, you obviously are a high performer. I don't know if there's any depression there. I hope not. But I want to ask you to help us to make the connection. You talked about e-commerce as an opportunity, digitalization as an opportunity in the West, and we see where, in order for that to happen, when that becomes a booming space, agriculture is going to matter. All of these different sectors are going to matter. Technology, internet, access to the internet and so forth. What are some of the challenges that you see going into the region over the next couple of years that we as members, as business owners, should take into consideration? And I want to preface by saying a lot of us on the call are service professionals. So we're service providers. We don't have a physical product, and it might not be good news for DHL, but I think it would be good news for you in the sense where you can really help us to think about how to productize some of the things that we're into, but then also how to create physical products from some of the professional services that we provide. Your take
Okay,
on
so
this?
no, that's a very good question. So you've got to understand that yes, there's opportunity, but also there are areas that have a lot of room to catch up with the rest of the world. Digitalization is a big thing, and talking about digitalization and agriculture, or trying to sort of find the connection between agriculture, even finance, and logistics. You cannot do this without a strong backbone of fiber and technology. And you will find that, there are companies that are making their, the fair share of contribution to make sure that we're running on the back of that, but it's never that good. It's never that, it's not yet where it should be as reliable as it should be. So I always tend to look at opportunities within this rather than the challenges. So there is an opportunity around, connectivity and fiber. There are some companies like C Squared that we work for. So C and Squared, the word, and they're doing some amazing work in that area. But by and large, the connectivity is a challenge. We still have roads that are underdeveloped, as I said earlier on, and rail. These areas are still a challenge. You also do have different currencies. The ECOWAS region itself is generally CFA, franc CFA, but you have smaller countries that are important, like Gambia, that uses Dalasi, and many of you would know that from the movie Roots, Kunta Kinte, he actually came from Gambia. And so you have a high level of tourism and people going there. And why is this important to companies like ours, DHL? People come into the country and they take back artifacts. And sometimes, this is what we do. And so when you look at the island where, this famous gentleman from many years back comes from, people carry a lot of artifacts, but how do we get from the island back to Banjul, and then from Banjul, out of Banjul to the US because somebody wants some bit and piece of Gambia? You take a boat, and from the boat you come back, and then from there so the infrastructure, even though there's some sort of hope and light at the end of the tunnel, it still remains a challenge. We do have, unfortunately, if you look at your heat map in terms of number of coups, a week ago we just had Guinea-Bissau, which is one of the only West African Portuguese-speaking countries, go through a coup. So in spite of all of that, and the coup happened last week, companies like ours and many other companies are still operating. We opened this week, and we're still going into Banjul with our service. And so in a nutshell, there are a myriad of challenges and there are myriad of issues. But by and large, I'm not even going to talk about things like understanding French law and English law. Those are a lot easier to deal with, but they're the intricacies of understanding, as Olivier said, the culture and how to enhance that culture for business. But the opportunities still remain. Why? Because you have a world that is moving away from what we've always done and are trying to live a healthier life. Some of the best food, some of the best cosmetic products are coming from this part of the world. For example, in Tamale, which is north of Ghana, you have some of the best renowned shea butter. And this is becoming an ingredient for all of you who are ladies on the call, for everything that is, beauty product. You've got black soap. And we are involved in everything from agriculture to these cosmetics to somebody talked about the Mama Benzes in Togo. These are dealing in material. If you read the news, Kente, for instance, from Ghana, has just been gazetted as a traditional regalia, that piece of cloth that comes from Ghana. And once it's made in Ghana, it's actually looked at as something very special now going out there. But how do you get Kente from someone who hand weaves it, and it must be hand woven in order to meet that certification? How do you get it from there to Europe? So in a nutshell, there are still many opportunities. And as a company, we have an arm called Go Trade as an impact area for our business, where we are advocating for the shutting down of these rules and regulations. And we're fighting with governments to put down the tariffs so that we're able to, in a nutshell, improve trade between countries, intra-Africa, which is very important with trade restrictions in the US and Europe. This is going to be the biggest thing that we need to do, intra-Africa and Africa trading with other countries, Far East and so on. So I suppose that's a little bit of what it is at the moment.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that. I wanna come to you, Fidel, Humphrey. That was a really great point, and you being with DHL, and just for everybody to know, DHL has a $80 million facility here in Atlanta, which is a hub for the Southeast, and they move a lot of items. So if you are the entrepreneur who's got a physical product and you're looking to move and trade with the West Africa, DHL may be a solution for you because and we as the GOC had a tour of that facility, so we know of a fact that that facility does exist. And so please take advantage of it if you are interested in moving goods between the U.S. and the region. Fidel, I will ask you a similar question. A lot of our members, a lot of our entrepreneurs, they're professional service providers, you know, consultants, management. You've heard from Lanata, she's a coach. Uh, how can these services get plugged into the opportunities that exist in Togo today?
Well, I would definitely say that, there are different ways that they can definitely plug in. It is definitely true that, this trade mission is not for people to go out there and just, sell goods, but there are different ways for them to prepare themselves as far as, be ready to give their elevator pitch, right? When you go into these sessions, be ready to talk to people because even though you may not have something ready to just sell, being ready to make those connections are very, very important because you don't know who you are going to meet. You don't know who you are going to encounter. So it's very important for you to make sure you have your business cards ready because like I said, you don't know who you're going to encounter, but it's good to be able to be ready to have those first impressions. Those are very, very important because you don't know who you're going to meet. You don't know who they know. You don't know how you're going to have those encounters that may be able to foster relationships that may turn into business deals later. Like I know our CEO, Corinne, she's been to different trade missions and she's also an attorney, but she's encountered people that later on, years down the road, relationships that she's made were able to turn into business deals for her later down the road. So you can just never be ready enough that you don't know what relationships you're going to create today that may turn into something later. So I will tell you, now, when you go into these things, be ready to have a capability statement with you. Prepare a 1 to 2 page capability statement. Have your company profile ready. Have a bio ready. Have your professional headshot ready. Have your digital and printed business card, like I stated before. Have a clear 3 to 5 minutes elevator pitch ready. Have a completion of your B2B matchmaking questionnaire ready. Those things will prepare you so that when you're going and you're having these conversations with people, you have everything ready to prepare yourself to present yourself as an actual business person so that when these things are happening, you're ready because you never know what they're going to turn into later. So that's what I'll have to say because yes, you don't have a service or you don't have what was the term? You don't have anything that you're selling right now that is going to generate money for you today, but the way you present yourself is what's going to generate business for you in the future. So that's my answer to that.
Good insight. Good insight. Thank you, Fidel. John, you're in the professional service space, and that represents a lot of who we are. Your real estate, and you've done some consulting stuff yourself. How have you done it? You have a great relationship with several African nations out there in West Africa. Give us some of your secret sauce. What's the secret sauce to making money? How are you making money between these jurisdictions?
So basically, I'm from Burkina Faso. So I have a real estate agency in Burkina. And the particularity is the fact that I use my experience from the US to to build and operate my business here in Burkina Faso. And it makes a huge difference. Like you see the way we operate, is completely different from how and the way the other people are operating. Here in Burkina and for most African countries, you don't need a real estate license to start to be a real estate agent or to sell houses. But for me, it's important to have that knowledge to be professional. And that's why on December 9 and 10, I have a training, for real estate professional to show them it's a master class that I'm giving to show them how to be a professional real estate agent, to be how to build and conduct a professional real estate business. So to me, showing authentic, that you are authentic, showing that you are innovative, that's how will make you, I mean, it's gonna make you money, it's gonna make you, set you apart. But I also get clients from
Right.
several African countries who want to invest into real estate in the US. So part of my job is to show them the process. I tell them, yeah, you can actually buy a house without being a US citizen or US resident, but there's a way to do it. Then I show them, I walk them through the process. So, vice versa. Some people in the US also want to buy properties in Africa, especially in the West African region, and I also serve as a link, as a bridge to help them through the process. So that's how I do it.
Very, very interesting. So, and I hope folks are taking note there because everybody's on the call interested in leaning into these opportunities that can quickly translate into economic value. Olivier, I want to come to you real quick because we come to the home stretch, and I'm going to be asking all of you to give your final, if you may, advice for folks who are interested in doing business in the region. More importantly, interested in being a part of this delegation. But Olivier, you're on the creative side, and we put our poll out there, folks, just to get a feel from you as to sort of your take on the discussion in Togo and Ghana. You're in the creative space, Olivier. How for folks who are in the creative space, who are listening to you, um, how do you make money between what's happening in the West, Ghana, and what's happening on this side? What's the secret sauce?
The secret sauce is maybe the okra sauce or sauce gombo, maybe. No, there is a lot of things to do, but we need to be organized and also have this mindset doing business because a lot of people they request advice, they request to work, but there is no money. Every time it's for free. So that's why I created this summit to organize people to meet the right people in Ghana, in Europe. Maybe I'm doing animation in Ghana. I can meet the good people through the network that I bring to them to create that. Like I said, to work, we need to have the right people. That's the only thing to make money for African people because sometimes, and a lot of times, I'm going to say, we don't have the right connection to make this money. And the plug, Anota, everybody was talking about it, is the plug. This plug is very important to make money because these people, they can bring to you to a new level of work, to a new level of mindset to develop your work. And like in France, a lot of people are doing a lot of business. For me, I'm sure this artistic business I can bring that to Ghana. Or otherwise, I can bring business from Ghana also to Europe. But we don't imagine that in diaspora. We are doing agriculture, a lot of things, but the creative is very important too. We have a big artist coming, Beyonce, all that, but we can do more than that. So we need to create maybe some platform, Ricardo, create some platform to link all these people, but the right platform and with the right people.
Yeah. So what you're saying is, regardless of what you're doing in the business that you're in, you could really tap into your knowledge base to be able to transfer some of that over into the region. There is something there for you. That's the takeaway that I'm hearing. But how do you really transfer that into real value? You're saying that you've got to plug in, you've got to have those relationships and those contacts. Thank you for sharing that. Your last bit of advice, I'll start with you, Fidel. Your one bit of advice, people are on the fence thinking about going to West Africa to explore. the opportunities that are out there with us. Your last bit of advice to those folks who are saying, I don't know, I'm not sure if this is the right thing for me.
First, I would like to thank you so much, Ricardo, for just having me here this morning. I would like to say that Togo and Ghana both offer rich opportunities across agriculture, digital innovation, logistics, mining, energy, and manufacturing. As someone born and raised in Togo, I can assure you that relationships you build there will be authentic, valuable, and long-lasting. So definitely give it a shot if this is something you really want to do, and you won't regret it.
Fantastic, fantastic. Lanota, you're about the mind and you're about getting ready and the preparedness mentally. What's your final bit of advice for folks?
Don't talk yourself out of it. You deserve it. And so go after the things that you know you deserve and don't talk yourself out of it.
Awesome, fantastic. John, what's your bit of advice here?
So I would say get in touch with the professionals, for investors or anybody who want to explore opportunities in Africa, get in touch with any chamber of commerce. And I would say that's the safest way to enter a market instead of just trying to do it by yourself. And by doing business here in Burkina Faso and in the US and being part of the Midlands African Chamber, I know what's the importance of being part of the chamber and getting in contact with any chamber for you know an opportunity or a business venture in any country. Thank you.
Fantastic. And Olivier, your bit, what do you say to our folks? Your advice.
My advice is for the African diaspora, for the sister and brother, make the impossible possible in Africa. Everything is possible.
Fantastic. Powerful indeed. And Humphrey, we'll finish it up with you. Talk to us a little bit about your bit of advice for folks who are listening to you.
So, first of all, thank you for having me. I went off a little bit, but our organization, DHL, believes in Africa. If that's a comfort, take it as a cue. We've just approved from the board a 300 million euro investment in the infrastructure in Africa, and it cannot be for any flimsy reason or just putting up your hand in the air and seeing which way the wind blows. There is a lot of confidence in the continent, and you too should be confident to come here. I would say, look at your competence, right, as a business when you're coming here, and look for opportunities in that area, because then you know it, and it may have its intricacies in Africa, in West Africa, even in different parts of Africa. But at the end of the day, it's your competency, so you start from there because you're confident, your mind is comfortable with that. But then also, like someone said, I cannot re-emphasize or make the point any louder. Work with people like DHL. We are a logistics company, but as well, as I said, we have 4 pillars. We go help, we go teach, and under our Go Trade arm, we're well within to support trade missions. We're well within our duty and our mandate to be able to make trade happen. We are about connecting people and connecting lives, and you cannot do that without really understanding intricacies in these parts of the world. And I think my last point is about Africa has the youngest population that is actually quite exposed, and businesses around this area are going to profit. What is the 18-year-old, the 30-year-old actually interested in? It would pay to actually do some research in that area and try to curate some businesses around there. And then what are we naturally as a continent endowed with? And how can you tap into that? Our job as a company and as people is to try and help you to get things moving from one point to another. So thank you very much. Don't be afraid to reach out. We're more than happy to help.
No, fantastic. Thank you. Look, guys, this has been really great. The poll, we just published the poll results. We've asked you your take, and as you see here, a lot of you are familiar with these territories but haven't been there. And this is an opportunity for you to be a part of what we're doing. Come March, our team has been putting links into the chat for you to express your interest. Make sure you do that if you're interested in going. Make sure you lean in to learn more about what's actually happening in the region. Last week we talked to folks from Nigeria and Liberia, and this week we wrapped that conversation with folks from, of course, Ghana and Togo with that familiarity. So you've got all four countries talking to you about the opportunities that are there. And the message that brings home is that you've got to lean into those access to the relationships and the connections that we're connecting you with for that region. There is something there for everyone. You've just got to find what is yours. So we really thank you. This is our last Power Hour for 2025. We could not have done this Power Hour over the last 50 plus weeks. Maybe we've done about 48 weeks of Power Hour. We could not have done it without you showing up every Wednesday morning at 8:30, spending an hour with us, doing our polls, giving us your feedback. This is very uplifting for all of us just to see the interest that we have. We will continue to lean in 2026. We do this until we find what it is that we're all looking for. So congratulations to all of you. Thank you to the team for being a part of this, making this possible. All of the GOC leaders, from my co-chair Jennifer all the way to Samuel and our regional leads who are I see on the call. Ijeoma from Nigeria is there. You've seen her posting in the chat. Betty from Kenya, who helped us with our East Africa delegation earlier this year, and Mark connected us with Humphrey, who is a part of DHL, and Mark is in the Middle East. So we've been building these platform of relationship. I see Michelle from Germany is also here, and I see Mwiche from Zambia. These are folks, I'm calling them out because they are special. They're important people to the connection. This connection ecosystem that we're creating for you is for you. It's for you to lean in, and it's for you to take advantage of it. Jason, who is our membership lead. So we've got all of the right set of people here to really make this happen. And so if you have any difficulty, if you have any hurdles that you're trying to cross, reach out. Reach out to the folks, seeing how, ask for help. Samuel is also part of our team. He's based out there in Nigeria. We just partnered with Midland Africa Chamber, who is now giving you another set of access, Togo and access to manufacturing, so it's just amazing. So I want to make sure that you understand that we are grateful for you to have spent this time with us, and give yourself a round of applause because you certainly deserve that. And we will see you. The Atlanta Black Chamber's got a holiday party for those of you who are in Atlanta. I think they're sold out. You might be able to catch them if you do it before 10 a.m. Make sure you come out and press the flesh and connect with those of us who are out here. But if we don't see you there, we'll definitely see you in the 2026. Let's go to West Africa, guys. Let's show the rest of the world that, as Lenota says and Olivier says, we've got everything that it actually takes to do this, to make this actually work. And you deserve it. And it is certainly possible. Have a great day, everybody. And thank you, guys. Thank you to all the guests. Humphrey, Olivier, Lenota, thanks for sharing. Fidel, John, thank you so much for being a part of our Power Hour today. And have a great day, everyone. We're gonna wrap up with our final bit of theme song here that we usually play for all of you. So thank you, guys.
Thank you, Ricardo.
Thank you, Mark. Big shout out. Thank you, Mark.
Cheers.
Thank you, Ricardo. See everybody in 2026.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Have a good day.
copy of the chat sent to me?
Jifa, yes. So once you put your email in the chat, Samuel will send it over to you.
Okay, thank you.
All right, folks, that's a wrap. Have a great day. We will see you on another call. Take care, guys.